But I want to talk about the RGR take. The Riley Grace Roshong thing. Because, oh my god, it's so sad. She blocked me on Twitter. Other people did too. And they're just going full on conformist queer. But let's answer the Discord thing now. Aren't you saying that liberals can use less deterministic Marxism for their own purposes, or that less deterministic Marxism ignores class too much? Yeah, I'm basically saying that. I'm basically saying that, but it's a critique of the Laclau and Mouffe left populism political analysis, basically. Yeah. So, okay, yeah, back to this. This is gonna make me upset to watch, because Jesus Christ. You know what's ironic? You know what's ironic, folks? The fact that people like conservatives like Ben Shapiro will say things like the left is going against science with their transgender rights, but they don't understand. What they don't understand about it is the fact that, okay, first of all of the scientific institutions have advanced so far beyond Ben Shapiro and his little like third grade science bullshit of like, oh, penis, vagina, that's gender, right? No, we like all of the institutions, all of the like academia is in full agreement that transgender people are like actually the gender that we say we are. So they're wrong on that point, and it's such a cruel irony because they say that we're against science, but the liberal type people who are like not fully like leftists, they're all about that. They're all about trying to make a scientific, institutional, academic case for why they're valid. And they're all about biological determinism. They're all about it. They're all about the gender brain bullshit, that pseudoscientific bullshit. They're all about the biological that biological determinism, basically, that leftist version of that. Are you going to transition 100%? Well, everyone transitions to a different degree. There's no, like, 100% is as far as you need to go with it. I, personally, surgery is not a, like, bottom surgery is not a requirement that I have, because I just simply don't have the same degree of genital dysphoria as, like, a lot of other trans people do. So, see, like, it's a very complicated thing with individuals where we're all, like, not the same just because we fit into the same identity category. So, yeah, there's that education out of the way. But I'm very bothered by this kind of biologically deterministic argument, because what I realized when my identity shifted and I came to this introspective place where I began to know myself as a woman, I realized the fact that you can kind of really just be whatever you are. Like there's no predetermination. It's all contingent. There's no complete absence of unconscious, like, choice at the unconscious level, where you're not like thinking consciously like, oh, I am this because I'm like picking like an ice cream flavor, but like you just feel in your heart that you are this, and you just need to do this to express that fact that is who you are. You know what I mean? Like that, like development on the unconscious level of your like personhood, like who you are. You know what I mean? I realize the fact that none of it is set in stone. And the people who feel like, and I've explained this in my ContraPoints response video, the people who feel like they need to like people who say like who don't think about it, like they just get up and they put on like a t-shirt and shorts and they're like a man, you know what I mean? And they like you ask like if somebody were to walk up to them and ask them like why do you dress this way? They would probably just say because I'm a guy, but that's not actually the reason why. They're just saying that because they're like they take it for granted. You know what I mean? Like they just see gender as like I am this, I'm comfortable in this like embodiment and they don't have to introspect on it like someone like me has had to. You know what I mean? So like it that it's a choice. You see what I mean? Like, the real thing that would justify conversion therapy is thinking that it's determined. Because then, like, that's my main issue, or one of my main issues with this line of argumentation for our, like, rights and acceptance and dignity, is this idea that it's just deterministically, like, oh, you just are this because biologically that's who you are, or like your neurochemical blah blah blah. The problem there is it plays directly into the argument that she's trying to refute, because then a eugenicist could just come in and be like, okay, let's just eliminate all the deviant types of people. If people are actually these easily delineatable categories that just naturally, by the virtue of naturally, that's how human beings are, then we can just eliminate the ones that we don't like. We can just kill them all. We can just breed them out of existence. We can just convert them. We can just force them to be different. We can just rewire them. We can just electroshock them. Her argument justifies conversion therapy more than mine. It really does. This video is one of the laziest videos I've ever seen. It's a minute. It's literally a fucking TikTok, and it sucks. This is horrible analysis. This is literally horrible. She's not helping anyone with this.
And are associated with psychological and social harm. Despite the fact that trans people would suffer more harm by identifying as trans in these programs, they continue to do so anyway. That's not to say that people have no freedom of choice with respect to their gender. Just that, like with sexuality, people can choose how to externally represent who they are.
Okay, but how do you actually get to the point where you are that, though? There has to be some kind of unconscious choice made, right? Like, and here's the big... There is such a good... You don't even have to take it from me. Like, there is such a good video by that Ashley Frawley girl that I was talking about on the podcast last time. Or it's not just her. It's on her channel, but she's on a panel. And she's like a sociology person. She's like a big professor, actually. And she's one of the most interesting Marxists of our age today. She has a lot of cool, insightful, interesting things to say. And I didn't even expect her to be talking about this, but she basically rips RGR's entire conception of gender to shreds in just several minutes. So let's just listen to her explaining this, and everyone bow, everyone simp.
I don't know if I want to give up my veganism.
This might be louder,
so even
or
like that idea
too quiet.
Of what sandwich you pick is so fraught with.
I'm gonna full screen it. She's amazing.
You have this sort of proliferation of choices. You have this paradox of a denial of responsibility in some sort of quarters of society, denial of responsibility for those choices. So you have this, that freedom that you have to choose what you're going to be could be really, really liberating, right? So I'm freer than I've ever been because I'm not born a peasant and dying a peasant, right? Within modern society, what you're born as doesn't necessarily dictate how you're going to die. And so we have this unprecedented freedom, and we have this choice about who we become. But at the same time, these choices exist when we don't have a strong kind of subjectivity, a strong kind of sense of the human actor that's capable of making those judgments and accepting the consequences for those judgments. So you wind up with this kind of this situation where the choices are biologized. So you can
Do you understand what she's saying? So we have, at the same time as we have the breaking down of all of the old categories, the deterritorialization of all of the old identity territories, we have people who want to rigidly re-territorialize themselves in a new category that's biologized because of the fact that along with that change, we don't have a stronger conception of what a human subject is, in the sense that we can make our own fucking decisions and determine ourselves without being determined by some external fucking factors. So, do you get her point there? The entire reason, in other words, the entire reason why RGR and people like her feel the need to pull that shit is because they think that their choices can't be their own and it has to be somehow like predeterministic. And just because it's a combination of those two social factors and the way that we think about ourselves in our day and age.
From a huge range of genders. But if you say, like, that is my rational choice, I decide to live like that, it's like kind of beyond the pale. You say, no, I was born this way, right? Or, you know, the idea that that homosexuality, I'm not saying that it is, I'm just saying the idea that homosexuality is a choice is just beyond the pale, right? No, I was born this way, and that makes it okay. Well, why would it be wrong if it was a choice? You're kind of implying that it's the wrong choice.
Do you see her point? Isn't that just a beautiful way of laying that out? Like, it's just perfect. Like, it's like, there it is. Like, she's one of the only people in the world who she just gets in front of microphones and cameras and she just says things that I completely agree with. It's like, whoa, like, she's eloquently saying things that I've already thought of. Like, it's amazing.
And so I think what happened was this unprecedented freedom came at a time when, right after, when we saw the results of human freedom, apparently, in the 20th century. Look what happened when human beings tried to direct the future. Look what happened when human beings were sort of standing on the edge of a cliff, right? Throughout human history, we always thought something would hold us back from destroying ourselves. The angels of our better nature. Something would swoop in and stop us from toppling over the edge of the cliff. And then we had World War II, the Holocaust, and good God, we're picking each other up and throwing each other over. And we realized that human freedom, that was the lesson, unfortunately, that we took, that human freedom can lead us to utopia or it can lead us to Auschwitz. And unfortunately, it led us to Auschwitz. And that's the lesson that we took. So in that context, you have this desire to deny human freedom, or to deny that these choices are really my choices. It's not me, it's my biology, it's my parents, it's my genes, it's this or that. And so I think that there's a powerful invitation in society to sort of reject those choices and reject the consequences of human freedom.
True. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's all right there. It's all right there, guys. Do you get it? Can somebody in chat please tell me that they understand so that I can move on? Or do I have to explain it more? Okay, Gurupoyo gets it. Alright, guys. Okay, folks. So there is that. Just slight critique there. Not even as far as we could go, but yeah. She's amazing.